AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Hey, it's Nooga Radio Outdoors. You are listening on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM on Nooga Radio. That's Chattanooga Radio. We are also live streaming on YouTube. We're live streaming on Facebook. You can catch us on TuneIn Radio and Shoutcast as well. We're on 95.3 FM HD4. There's just all kinds of places you can catch Nooga Radio. This is Cindy. It is my absolute honor to be your host and outdoor activity, events, and adventure guide for our community. And I want to know about your activities, your events, your adventures, your tournaments. If it's kayaking, if it's 5Ks, 10Ks, trail races. I think that's how you say that. Whatever outdoor activities it might be. If it's festivals, outdoor concerts, whatever gets people outside and encourages them to get outside and get active, we want to know about it. And you can email me at nrocindy@gmail.com. That's NROCindy, like Nooga Radio Outdoors, Cindy@gmail.com. I'm so enjoying getting your feedback and learning about all the activities there are to help people connect in our Chattanooga community. Quick shout out to our awesome sponsor, Chicken Salad Chick. Chicken Salad Chick with 2 locations currently and a 3rd location about to open. We have the downtown location with convenient curbside pickup. We've got the East Brainerd location over on Gun Barrel. And now, Josh Patton, we're so proud of you. He's opening the 3rd location at the Erlanger Mall downtown. And again, that's Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. Great catering options at Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. And now I'm just going to jump right in. There's plenty to talk about. So Randy stayed with us, Randy Wharton with Wild Trails from the first half of the show. And now Joseph Gudger with Whitewater. He's a whitewater kayaker and coach with Ace Kayaking. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Good. How are you, Cindy?
I'm doing really good. Thanks. Did I say your name right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, awesome.
There's lots of different ways I've heard, but you did it great.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm so excited to meet you. You've several people had referred you just the same way that Randy had came to me. You have a reputation for what you do. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
I get to go kayaking every day, hang out on the Ocoee and take people that don't know what they're doing and teach them all about it. Sharing my passion and just kayaking. Can't complain.
This is whitewater? Yeah,
whitewater kayaking.
So so you take a novice that maybe isn't familiar at all, or how does that work?
It's a little bit of everything. A whole lot of people that don't know what they're doing that want to learn before they make the investment of buying the equipment or just seeing if it's something they want to do. And then a whole lot of people I work with are people who've been doing it for a long time and are ready to step up to the next level or see whether opportunities are out across the nation, whatever people need.
Oh, that's awesome. And how awesome for you to get to be out there on the water every day. And the same thing with Randy. I mean, this is your full-time gig, Wild Trails, right, Randy?
It is now, yeah.
That's awesome. Like I share on here, I had a window where when I learned to hang glide, I actually got to live across the street from the launch and live above the shop and run the shop. So I had a season of getting to do that. And it's just the best. When you can infuse what you love into, your work and so forth, it's just the best combination. Well, one reason I asked Randy to stick around is there's common ground here. And tell me, Joseph, about any challenges when you're like, what are the challenges besides just learning to kayak? What are some of the obstacles that you face when you're out there because of lack of maintenance?
So kayaking is pretty interesting because, a lot of places we go aren't established waterways or trails, but a lot of places we do go, we have to use established trails to get into these places. So there's always access. And then there's always the problem of trees in the woods and things we have to clean up. And
I should have thought about that. I didn't think about access because that's common too. That I have to relate to hang gliding and mountain biking because that's the two things I'm familiar with. There's plenty of places where we have to hike our hang gliders in quite a ways.
Yeah.
And a rough trail can be when you're carrying my glider was light and it still weighed 50 pounds and it was 20 foot long. Can you imagine hiking that down a trail? that's why we're so thankful for the sites that we do have where you can pull right up and just be, feet away from the launch, which is awesome. But so I didn't even think about that because you've got to carry that kayak, right?
Yeah, most places in the southeast, like we're not carrying them more than a mile. I think the longest one in the southeast I've done is like 4 miles. But everything it's a long way. But you go west and you're like 9, 12 miles, but it's not that bad here. But here it's like, some of our game lands and some of the national forests, that has a lot of the best whitewater kayaking, but a lot of it's kind of intermingled in private land. So, we always establish our own relationships as much as we can, but for a lot of it, we're relying on trail systems that are in place.
Right. I love that. And I'm just thinking about all the lucky hikers out there that need to be thankful for the kayakers and the hang glider pilots and the people who, they're going to make
the climbers too. You have to have trails to climbing cracks.
Exactly. So all those enthusiasts contribute to making sure that we have great trails to walk. And again, we've been talking to Randy, and that's a lot what started Wild Trails. Was the trail, and just lack of trail maintenance. And so it's kind of cool that it's sort of morphed into paddling trails, which we've done quite a bit of flat water, clearing the creeks, not just, you think about when there's a big tree down, all of the trash, a lot of the trash that's floating gets stuck behind the log jam, if you will. So it's a little bit tricky that once you bust that log jam free, now you've got, we did one not that long ago. We made, I think it was like 15 or 18 giant industrial sized trash bags full of trash behind that one log jam. So you can't just cut the logs free and then, go about your business. You got to do a lot of cleanup afterwards. Not as much of a deal with whitewater creeks, just because there's so much more velocity going on there. But isn't there a problem with erosion? Is that an issue?
Not so much, because most of the places we go whitewater kayaking, there's not that many people that go there.
Okay.
Maybe places like North Chick where there are more people that go swimming in the summertime, but a lot of those places already have established systems and groups to help deal with that.
Well, tell me, Joseph, more about someone that's listening right now, and they've been interested in getting involved in kayaking, but they're totally green. They haven't ever done it before. Right off the cuff, what would be your recommendation to them to getting introduced to kayaking?
Well, they're super lucky because Chattanooga is like one of the top 3 cities in the southeast to get into kayaking. There's so many resources here and so many rivers here. You've got Alabama and North Georgia. That's a couple hours away. You've got Ocoee and Nantahala not far away, and all the plateau and up around Knoxville. But everything around here, I would just look for a group to get into it. Don't just go out there and start out of the gates. There's so much you don't know, and just by getting some help, you can get years ahead of where you would be just trying to figure it out on your own. In Chattanooga, you've got like Outdoor Chattanooga. I know they have a whitewater program. Terry Chapin runs that. She has an awesome job over there. And then TVCC.
What was that, Outdoor Chattanooga?
Yep, Outdoor Chattanooga.
Is that where Sunshine is?
I'm not sure.
I had Sunshine on the show, I think, from over there. See, and I didn't know about it. Are you familiar with everything Outdoor Chattanooga does?
Not everything. I'm not a whitewater kayaker at all.
Yeah. So they introduce you to bike riding. They introduce you to kayaking and several different things.
Yeah, Outdoor Chattanooga does a really good job of getting people just outside and experiencing new things.
But they're also good about handing them off
to other people and like getting them started, which I think is like the most important part is just getting started. And then past that, TVCC, Tennessee Valley Canoe Club, that's a local club in Chattanooga, and they do a really awesome job of getting people out on the water, teaching safety classes like swiftwater rescue or just like basic boating skills.
They have an annual. That's one of their biggest deals is the beginners.
Yeah, that paddle school like early every summer.
Yeah, great stuff.
Well, that's a lot what this platform is for, and that it's not just about introducing the listener to the different activities and so forth, but it's connecting the people that are involved. So we do know what each other is doing. I'm trying to create a hub so that when someone wants to get involved, I'll be like, oh, here's a few people you can call, but I'll know not to waste anybody's time and then go ahead and say, maybe you should warm up here. But when you're ready to take that next step, maybe you ought to, give Joe a call and go spend some time out on the Ocoee, right? That's where you operate.
Yeah, Ocoee, and then over like on the Hiawassee, North Georgia, Cartacay, places like that. And that would be the next thing too. Like, so on top of what resources you have in Chattanooga, there's private instruction is always like a really, really good option.
Oh yeah.
Because it's more one-on-one. It can be catered to your personality and your learning style. And then, just having that person there to see what your weaknesses are or what kind of what your strengths are and playing on all of that helps you get out there way faster.
And yes, that's what I say. It saves time because I remember, I wasn't worried about. I'd never snow skied until like later in life, but I wasn't worried about it one bit because I knew I was going to go get lessons right off the bat, and I went and got 2 quick lessons, and I was able to come down the mountain a few times. So my trip was not wasted. And now that is a lot of the issue with outdoor activities is the time involved.
Yeah.
And that if it's going to take a long time to learn, that's going to slow you down, even though once you learn, maybe it'll be a more compact timing. But a personal coach, we had this on my morning show, my Cindy's Choice business show. I have a lot of coaches on to coach people in business. That one-on-one instruction is just so much more productive, at least for getting started. And I know it's encouraged me because I've been getting offered some one-on-one because now I'm getting introduced to so many things and I want to try so many things. And now that's the things I lean toward because I know I'll spend, okay, I'm going to do that next because I know I've got this one-on-one training and I'll be able to get involved in that much quicker. Plus that one-on-one, that person's going to advise you about equipment. That's a huge part about getting involved in something like kayaking. It's like you go to, I guess they call them the big retailers, the box stores or whatever. And it's overwhelming because you see these great prices on a bunch of things that you don't understand about. Then, you start looking at the smaller things get pricier. Well, there's a reason for that. And like talking to an expert or someone that understands product and can help you navigate what your investment should be to get started is a key part of it too. It's not just about learning the skills.
Yeah, because beginners don't know what they don't know yet. So exactly. I get it all the time. Like someone goes and finds something they found on Craigslist or just go out and buy all these things brand new. And then they find out really fast that it doesn't fit them or it's not the right type of boat to learn in. Like they end up getting like a small freestyle kayak versus more river run or creek boat, better for learning.
Exactly.
So that's where like talking, even if it's just going down to Rock Creek and talking to those guys, be like, this is what I'm going to do. Just look at all your options and go talk to someone and try it out before you buy it, which is something you can do through private instruction.
Yeah. And talk to like several somebodies, and definitely, like you said, with private instruction, someone that doesn't have, that isn't tied to a retailer, you're going to get a lot more varied advice that way.
Yeah.
I think I have to go back to my hang gliding story. I mean, everybody told me when I got started, they said, Cindy, you will outgrow a beginner glider, and I'm no, not me. I won't. I'll stay in a floater for a while. And oh my gosh, I invested all this money in this brand new glider and I outgrew it in 10 flights, So it's frustrating. And so don't just get the advice, but take it from me to take the advice from the experts when you're making these investments. So tell me, so we talked about resources and how to get involved. What would be just a key thing about kayaking? Tell me something that as a person that doesn't know what she doesn't know, because I don't kayak, what would surprise me about kayaking?
Man, I think what surprises most people is how I think there's something for everyone in kayaking. Like you can make it as extreme as you want to make it, or you can make it as chill as you want to make it.
I love that.
Yeah, so there's something for everyone. You should definitely try it out. And I would always say start out on flat water and just try different boats, then see what way you want to go, what suits your personality, bite off as much as you want to bite off. But I think like one of the biggest things I hear, biggest concerns from people starting is like being stuck in these kayaks, and especially in whitewater kayaks because you're all skirted in and they're really, really tight. And that's really not the case so much. You can always pull those skirts. You can always get out, and I think that's the biggest fear though that everyone always comes with, and it's really not that big of a deal. You can learn to deal with it.
Yeah, I love that because I was talking about like I'm getting these multiple Nooga Radio Outdoors programs, and I was going to start dedicating them to certain categories, and I thought about an extreme. But I don't want to use that word because I'm like, that's really misleading because people think of hang gliding as an extreme sport, and it's not. It can be just free flight. It can be just simple free flight. You choose your conditions. You choose how you want to fly. And so it's the same with kayaking.
Same thing with running, trail running.
Exactly.
You look at ultras, it's a scary word. I'm going to do something ultra. A trail ultra is way easier on your body than a road marathon. Without question. You have to go slower. It takes longer, but a lot of these races, there's no cutoff time. So you can take, 8 or 9 hours, and just about anybody could walk 31 miles in 9 hours. So it sounds extreme and ultra, but it's not nearly, especially on the beginner's level.
I totally get that because I started I'm not a runner, but I will run some Yet, yes, because I will run some on trails. It's just easier. I can't explain it, but I'm even tempted. I'm even tempted to run more on trails. And what I love about it as well is it keeps my interest. I get, I'll use a treadmill indoors when it's necessary, but I don't last long. I get bored, even with the earbuds in, watching Shark Tank or whatever I decide to watch for an hour. I can take about an hour of that. And then even though walking pavement, the same thing happens. I can get maybe 4 miles in, and that's about all I really need the distraction. I need the entertainment, maybe. I don't know, but it's the challenge, I guess. There's a challenge element to it too.
Question because I'm not a whitewater paddler either, but most people I see getting into trail running, they need that like 2 or 3 months to get it. I mean, get pretty routine on getting it, to build the stabilizer muscles, but maybe I think it's just to get enough experience to start feeling comfortable with it. Is that similar?
Yeah, it's different for everyone. Because you get people come in and they're super savvy already, really strong, really in shape, and they've got the mental aspect for it, and they'll pick it up really fast. I've taken some guys down, like their third time ever in a kayak, like they've done the Ocoee and they styled it. Then other people, they're more timid, or they're more nervous about it, and they're there to confront that fear and push themselves, find what's uncomfortable, and go face it. And it might take them a little longer to practice. So I think that's one thing in kayaking that's a little harder. Some people accelerate really fast. Sometimes it's a little slower, but it's always about fun, and just people shouldn't forget that.
I love that you brought that up, because I was very slow on the training hill. I had never done anything like that before, and I was kind of like what you described, but I was pushing myself, and it's something I saw everybody doing. I thought, I know I can do this, but I had never done anything like that before. And I know there were people doubting that I would be able to clear the mountain. But not only did I clear the mountain, but I was flying at the top of the heap pretty quick. So it's like, don't let that discourage you. If you are slower, it doesn't indicate what you'll be capable of when you do get it. Because to me, I think it saved my life, quite frankly, because of that much more time on the training hill. I was not just able to have that much more practice, but I soaked up that much more from the big dogs, from the experts. And it was kind of like osmosis, where there was things I knew to do once I was in the air that, when I got in some dangerous situations that I just couldn't have been prepared for if I hadn't had enough time on the training hill.
Yeah.
So there's always a balance there. But I know the guys that go out there and, boy, no time, they're flying and they're skying out. They just have an knack for it.
Yeah, and I will say too, no matter whether you pick it up fast or if it takes you a while, the more practice you put into it, the more seat time you get, the better your skills are going to be, and the better decisions you can make in the long run, the better you can handle what comes your way.
Exactly.
So Joseph, are you familiar with Connor Creek?
No, I'm not familiar with Connor Creek.
So we're building the next 12 miles of the Cumberland Trail, and it goes from very close to, I guess it's about 8 miles at the top of North Chick Creek, and it just follows North Chickamauga Creek all the way up to the headwaters. This Connor Creek comes down in, and apparently Connor Creek and North Chick, and where the confluence of those two come in, is some of the best creek boat whitewater paddling around anywhere. So the boaters met with the Cumberland Trail folks, and they're putting in a boat-only kind of access on Connor Creek that's supposed to be really, really awesome. So that's, I think, maybe fairly, I hope I didn't jump the gun, but it's maybe they haven't announced it yet, but it's going to be really a great trail system for the paddlers.
Wow, where's this at? I'm not familiar.
So it's kind of an ugly drive. It's way up on the top of 111, and then you got to just go on this long dirt road to this place called Barker Camp, which is a trailhead. But the idea is then to give the boaters an access to a gate, which is going to allow them to go really close to this Connor Creek put in, and then they're going to build the trail. And it's going to be something that's really been difficult. One of those 4 mile hike your boat.
Yeah, I know that they did a bunch of work over on Kane, North Chick side of things too, but I'm not familiar with this.
Wow. Well, that sounds like something is that part of the enjoyment of it, of checking out the new places to kayak?
Yeah, always looking for new places. That's something I like to do. I really like the adventure side of it, just going new places and seeing what else is out there and trying to find new runs that I haven't done before. But yeah, I definitely like a little bit of suffering in kayaking is something I enjoy.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like so much fun. I just, and it sounds like this Connor Creek is up there, because you talk about going up 111. That's where my favorite hang gliding launches. You know, it's I mean, Lookout Mountain is great, and Lookout Valley is wonderful, and that's like the most high volume hang gliding school in the country, for goodness sakes. But the Dunlap site overlooking the gorgeous Sequatchie Valley is just incredible. So is that, with this tie-in, is it tying down into the Sequatchie Valley, you think?
No, other side. So
Okay.
yeah, it goes the other direction. But you know, there's going to be a lot of connectors. That whole 111 confluence there's a big discussion going on making connector trails to Sequatchie Valley, to the Cumberland Trail, and with hang gliding, and certainly trails, and a lot of climbing up there too.
Yeah, it's a really neat area. Tons of rivers and everything.
Well, Joseph, I mean, you came really, really highly recommended to me, and I was I appreciate you traveled to get here, because you do spend most of your time out at the Ocoee, right?
Yeah,
in that area.
I'm on the water about 10, 12 hours a day.
That's amazing.
This is actually my first day off the water in like 2.5 weeks.
Well, if someone was interested in getting a hold of you for some kayak coaching, how would they go about that?
I would just go to the website, acekayakimg.com, and send an email, or you can call from there, and then I will not answer the phone and expect a while to email back. I'm on the water, but that would be the best way.
It's cool. It was, I was just so glad to be able to get a hold of Joseph and to get him here today, because I know he does stay on the water a lot, and you do a little bit of traveling as well.
Yeah, as much as I can. I try to travel all over the place in kayak, like Cali, and then Pacific Northwest and Canada. Those are some of my favorite places to go.
Do you have students in some of these other areas, or just strictly in here locally?
No, I operate out of here, but when I get a student to the point where they're good enough to go on trips like that, I really like to take them on trips like that. It's probably one of the most rewarding things.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best.
Can I ask one more question before we leave?
Go right ahead.
So there's been a lot of discussion I've had with people, I mean, in the room, but I've never been a part of it really, because I'm not a whitewater guy, but a water park, whitewater park in Chattanooga.
I really think there could be a lot of potential there. Especially if you built it for like slalom gates or freestyle, where there's actually like hydraulics and features that people can train and play on, especially in the dry seasons, or if it's down below like the tailwater section of a dam where there's regular water generation schedule you could follow. I do think that would be a huge success for Chattanooga. A lot of cities
are doing it.
It's huge out west.
You can imagine how many people I'm talking to with just, and everybody, is coming from all over the country. A lot of people from Colorado, a lot of people from California are coming to Chattanooga for what we offer as far as the outside hub that this area is. So I could see something like that really going over and being really awesome.
Yeah, and it'd be a place to host events too, if the feature was good enough for like freestyle events and things like that. I think it'd be awesome.
Awesome. Well, guys, I just appreciate the heck out of you coming on today. Randy, thank you for joining me again. I look forward to having you back. You've got so much to talk about, so many events, and you do so many good things. It's easy to have you on quite often and talk about those things.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Joseph, thank you. I know it's going to be harder to get you back, because it's kind of like my hang glider pilot buddies, and this is their time of the day when they need to be teaching. So it's hard for them to get away and come be on the show. But thank you so much. We've enjoyed having you.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to more.
Okay, me too. Thank you for joining us. That's a wrap.